Friends, here it is. Welcome to the Monday morning live stream here at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. Yes, good morning, everybody. Let me know where you're at, what you're up to, what the weather's like where you're at, how your cold training is going, how your breath work is going, how your meditations are going. Is your diet, meaning nutrition, is it on point? Where is it lacking? We can investigate all those kind of things in the upcoming episodes, of course. Whoa, that is unreasonably hot. And that is the ironwort, also known as the Greek mountain tea, the English name for its ironwort. Probably because it makes you as strong as iron. That's what I would guess, because the Greeks drink this tea all the time. And that is where I first learned to love it. So, Lisa T says, great topic today. Hope you are all thriving. Yes, I'm sure we are for the most part. And if we are not, then we can we can call upon our resistance or our resilience training. We can call upon the resilience training and we can adjust and adapt and thrive in the new situation. So, let us see. Yes, it is. I don't use the heat right now, so I'm going as long as I can in the house to try to not use the heat. So it's like 56 degrees Fahrenheit in the house, which is getting chilly. So that is, therefore I have this attire. That's what that's for. So Val says, falling behind with the breath training up to a whopping 32 seconds with the cold shower. Hey, that is not bad. I know it seems like, oh, not a long time, but that is not bad, guys. It's all about progressive betterment. So, Ms. T, hello, my friend, says, sending high vibrations, strong positive energy to my Viking family for a thriving, productive day. Thank you, my friend. Same to you. Jody K, hello from Minnesota. PA, hello, my friend. PA says he's a prepper, homesteader, permaculturalist, and filmmaker. Very nice. Hello, Ursula. Good to see you here. Good to see you, Val. Let's see. Val says, I like David the Good. He's down to earth. Yes. He gave Nate a shout out. Said he seems to have his head on good on his shoulders. Yeah, I saw that because you guys were like, hey, David the Good gave you a shout out in his live. So I watched it, and yes, wonderful. He speaks a lot of common sense, a lot of good stuff. And I like, he's lighthearted, which is really important. His humor conveys through the screen easily. So that's really good. That's what I like. And yes. So we share a lot of the similar. I talked about it on my Saturday stream, but hopefully in this upcoming growing season, we'll be doing a collaboration. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I think that would be cool. Yeah. He really liked my electroculture video. In fact, he put a link to it in his videos, which is pretty cool. So, because he's been doing it a lot longer than I have, as far as the YouTube thing, not the growing thing. But okay, Anthony says, good morning, everyone. Just got out of the cold bath, teeth chattering. All right. So when we do the when we will get deeper into the ice training, I will show you the recovery breathing, the power breathing for when you come out of the cold and you're a little bit shivering. I will show you the breathing exercise that is specifically for igniting the fire within, that is going to help to warm you. And yes, PA, let him know, please. And yes, that is going to be very important. But for now, make sure that you are taking the breathing, long, slow exhalations. It is the long, slow exhalation that is going to signal to the body the rest and digest sort of adapt mode. Yes, where it's going to lower the heart rate, lower the blood pressure. It's going to make you whoo, okay? Because we want to take control of the breathing. This is utmost important. So when you're taking your cold shower, and it's great that we started now because it's going to be getting colder and colder here before long. So yeah, let me just show you the weather forecast for where we are at. And this is, I like this, I like this. Lows in the 40s, highs in the 50s, and cloudy. That's pretty much my kind of, I thrive in that kind of weather, So a lot of people are like, oh, no way. So, Brian, good to see you here, my friend. Says, good morning, Nate. Working on it all. Had our first couple of freezes on the high plains of Kansas. Much peace and blessings, my Viking friend. Yes, Brian. Glad you're here. And so we will do the meditation. And then we are going to talk about someone asked me if I could comment on these 12 rules if I could give my interpretation of the 12 rules for being human. And they come from ancient Sanskrit. Now, I don't know exactly what teachings or what writings. I mean, there's layers and layers, volumes of Upanishads. You remember, I spent several years in depth in India, extensive traveling and searching and seeking and experiencing in India, which is sort of the birthplace of all of this spirituality in many ways. And so I don't know exactly the verse, if it's in the Bhagavad Gita or if it's in, but I've seen these kind of things all over in India. So we'll be going through these 12 rules for being human, and I will give my interpretation of them. So I think it's a good idea. Someone asked me, I said, yes, we can definitely do this, my friend. Okay, so let's see, a couple more. Hello, Marty Raspberry says, sending out the good vibes for the day. That's right. You got to set the mind. You got to set the mind. That's why in the future, within the next week or two, we'll do one on morning routine. Maybe that'll be the next video. I would like to determine the topic of the next week's video by the end of this video. I think that would be good for us. So, and that way I could make the thumbnail earlier and stuff. So maybe next week, what do you think? We should do it on the importance of a morning routine and what that does physiologically. So yes, very important to set the stage for the day. Most people just kind of can wake up and just kind of check their phone, and they just kind of do a few things here and there. That is not the way to become thriving as far as accomplishing and actualizing your life's purpose, in my opinion. So it is best that you focus your intentions and do the practices. So yeah, we'll talk about all that later. Anthony, you're in Eureka. Are you in Eureka, or is that what? Yeah, that's pretty much Eureka weather. Exactly. Yeah. That's a trip. If you're in Eureka, that's a trip. Matias, 2 minutes in the cold shower. Well done, my friend. That is good. That is good. 2 minutes seems like an eternity. Jody K, up to 2 minutes in the cold shower. I noticed that after the shorter sessions, my skin feels very hot, but the longer ones, I'm cold after. Yes, that is for now. That is only for now, as the vascular system becomes conditioned, and the little muscles that open and close the blood vessels, all that stuff's waking up from years of potential non-use. So it will be great. Okay, and Slickford used to live in Eureka. Okay, yeah, I spent much time in Eureka. Okay, my friends, let us drop into the meditation. So, let me get my sign out. Let us take a few deep, conscious breaths together. Breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Breathing fully in, deep as you can. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in, deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. And let it go. Now for the meditation. There is no need to breathe in any particular way. You just allow the body to breathe in whatever way it wants to breathe, making sure the spine is straight. You can be cross-legged, You could be in a chair, but keep your back off the chair and keep the spine straight so the energy can flow. As you deepen your meditation practice, you will come to notice the subtle things, the difference in energy when the spine is slouched over compared to when the spine is straight and erect. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Empty your mind of thoughts. There is no need to think of anything right now. Don't even think about what I'm saying. Just allow it to come to you and the sound waves to play with your eardrums. The brain will make sense of all of it automatically. Breathing in, become aware of the sensation of air as it flows into your body. The sensation of air passing through the nostrils, the area at the tip of the nose. Focus your attention only on that. That's all you need. Feel the breath as it flows into the body and back out of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice the sense of stillness, the peace of mind. When you find that the mind has wandered away to some planning for the future or some remembering of the past or some worrying about some trivial little matter that happened 5 years ago, anytime you find that the mind has wandered away from the breathing, just release whatever you are thinking of and bring the attention back to the sensation of air as it flows in and out. For many of you that are practicing consistently, you will notice the power of your attention is increasing. And if you're doing it daily, you will notice it is increasing dramatically. So your ability to stay with the breath is becoming greater and greater. That is to say, your ability to remain present is becoming greater and greater. For some of you, you may only go a single breath, maybe 2 or 3, before the mind is wandered away to something else. Don't become frustrated. That only increases the disturbance. Just gently bring your attention back to the air passing through the nostrils into the body and out of the body. Be patient with yourself. Repetition and honest intention is all that matters. For those of you regularly practicing, notice how you can simultaneously be aware of the sensation of air as it flows in and out of the body, but you can also be aware of the sensation of the lungs expanding, of the shirt as it moves across your chest. While at the same time remaining aware of the feeling of gravity holding you tightly to the earth. The feeling of the chair, the cool breeze on your skin, all while remaining aware of the breathing. And if a thought or image comes into the mind, you just watch it. As it passes into the mind, it is there for a while, and it passes out of the mind, like a cloud passing in the sky. We are almost finished. Do 30 seconds of pure awareness. Focus only on the breathing. Release everything else. Okay, very good. Together, let us take a few deep conscious breaths. Breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Again, breathing fully in, deeply as you can. Hold. And let it go. One more. Breathing deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. And let it go. As you come out of the meditation and you open your eyes and the stimuli of what appears to be the external world comes into your awareness, remain part of your attention with the breath, with the breathing. And notice how, in any situation in your day-to-day life, you can drop in to the awareness of the breath. You are always breathing. But the breathing is the one thing that is simultaneously can be voluntary and involuntary. It bridges the gap between what appears to be happening to you and what is happening by your effort. Because when you are aware of the breathing, you can breathe in a particular way, or you can even hold your breath. But eventually, the intelligence of the body must take over, because the intelligence of the body knows exactly how to sustain you. So at any time during your day, drop in to the sensation of air as it flows in and out of the body. Even as you're talking to someone, as you're in the midst of something, kids are crawling on you or something is happening, whatever it is, just drop into the breath. Even 1 or 2 breaths, consciously done, can be very powerful. All right. How's the sound quality, guys? Because I got this new iPad, so I'm having to adjust certain things. But, okay, so TC says, my morning routine, wake up at 5:30 a.m., make tea, watch Thrive Like a Viking. That's my morning routine. Well, you know what? You're on the right track. If that's your morning routine, you are moving in the right direction, my friend. Jerry Bate, good to see you here, my friend, says, just started working on that idea. That would be great. Morning routine, holding at 105. Holding at 105. Are you talking seconds in the cold? That's pretty good. Yes, morning routine. Okay, maybe we'll do that next week. Lisa T, with old training, my arteries and veins more vital. Good stuff. Cold training. Absolutely, guys. You will see. Just do the practices and it all becomes clear. Sharon, good to see you here, my friend, says, hey, Nate, can't wait to meditate with you after work. Good. Taida says, hear you well. Sounds great. iPad sounds totally sufficient. Okay, good, Ursula. Yeah, you said that exactly how I would say it. Excellent audio. Jerry says, lots of ads cutting in. What? See, guys, YouTube has changed their thing. YouTube has changed their thing. I don't monetize these videos because I don't make money on these videos because it's meditation and stuff and during the live. But YouTube has changed things now. All the options are different now, and so they're going to put ads. They are, but they say, yeah, Val says no ads yet, but they say it's different for everyone. So the days of being able to say, I don't want ads on my stuff are over. They're putting ads on your stuff, no matter what. So, because that's just the way it is now. So, yeah. On my Thrive Like a Viking channel, Garden Like a Viking, I can still place exactly where the ads are, but that's going away. That's going to be going away. So I just put 1 or 2 ads during the thing because nobody wants a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Susanna says, I had an ad at the beginning of the meditation. What a terrible... Well, okay, but you know what we have to do? Until I can sort out how to get around that, we just have to use that as part of the meditation. We just have to use that as part of it, because there will always be interruptions and all sorts of other things happening during our day-to-day life. And so exactly, TC says, no worries, my friend, mind over matter. Yes, definitely. Especially as we become more progressed or more advanced with our meditation practice, then it really is insignificant. It really doesn't matter what's happening in this. If an ad comes on, it's not like, oh no, they ruined my meditation. Now I'm all frazzled and yada yada. No, it's just like, oh, there's an ad. Okay. I noticed that there's an ad. Maybe I noticed that there's frustration arising within me, but I just watch it. I noticed that there's a little bit of anger at the man for trying to place ads in the middle of my meditation. Okay, but I just noticed that. I just watch it. Watch it. It's still there. It's still there. Okay, still there. But eventually it will pass, like everything does. It will come into your experience and it will pass out of your experience. This is the nature of all things. So, yeah, and we are going to advance here before long. We are going to be changing, well, not changing, but just sort of, distilling the meditations even more. But this is very important. The getting the mind sharpened like this, okay? Man, everyone's talking about ads. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and monetize the video then. Or I'm just going to monetize the videos and then maybe I can have more say. But yeah, all you guys, I can't recommend highly enough, get YouTube Premium. Get these ads out of your life. Because like for myself, I don't have a television. And the only thing that I watch are instructional stuff or people, content creators on YouTube. That's it. And so you can't be having those ads coming into your life all the time. If you can't afford it, that's not a problem. It's like $12 a month. And if it's not worth it to you, then by all means, stick with the ads. That's how we make more money, the content creators, definitely. But I'm saying for your own mental well-being, get the YouTube Premium, because it's amazing. Now when I go to like now my mom has it actually. When I go to my brother's house who doesn't have Premium and I see an ad, it's like, oh, they're all loud and blah, 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 blah. All the flashy colors and everything. I'm like, man, how primitive, because I've got Premium and I never have to. You can limit the assault on the mind, right? Exactly. RK says, as much as I utilize YouTube, Premium is so worth it. Yes. TC, absolutely, my friend, says subliminal messaging is in those ads. Absolutely. Guys, make no mistake that those kind of ads are made by people that are like behavioral engineers and behavioral psychologists. They understand. They're using AI, all kinds of stuff, so they understand how to get into the subconscious mind. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to this here in just a moment. Yes, a lot of people got the Premium. Good. That's what I like. Greek Mountain Tea. That's right. Also known as ironwort. Creative Soil. Yes, it is the Greek Mountain Tea, which actually some of the tea or some of the honey, the local honey from Tennessee, from the family. We went down there just this past week. Me and Jenny were there for a week. We were there last week, coming to you live. And so here is some of the honey from there. Yes, delicious. Ms. T says, is it possible to have been meditating for some years now and still feeling the need for improvement? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's a really good point. Because yes, if you're feeling the need for improvement, if you're feeling like there's another level or layer, go for it. Seek that, follow that, definitely. And deepen your practice. And deepen your practices, the different channels of practice. The sitting meditation, when I was teaching meditation for 2 years, I was leading the meditations at the Indiana Buddhist Temple. And we would have big groups of people coming in and meditating. It was on Mondays and Thursdays. We did several different kinds of meditations, but so many people would just come to like the Thursday breathing meditation. And for 1 hour, we meditated for 1 hour. And then we had, communion type stuff after that for a couple hours. But the people that would come, and I could always tell, the people that would just only meditate on those Thursdays for 1 hour, They saw virtually no progress, and by progress we mean how deep is your experience, how deep, how long is your fuse as far as like dealing with other people, how easily are you frustrated. If you're still easily frustrated, then your meditation practice can deepen. Definitely needs to deepen. If you so you can always tell. I mean, I just got really good at telling that, and it was the people that would meditate for every day, even 5 minutes, even just just a minute or two, still drops the mind in. So the ultimate way is to, as often as you can think of it, become aware of the breathing, just for a few breaths until you're doing something else. This is powerful, guys. So, okay, let's see. All right, so a friend said, or one of you guys said, Nate, could you comment on this thing? I guess maybe it's something from Instagram or maybe YouTube or something, but it's 12 rules for being human. And I will read them and then comment on them. And it comes from the Sanskrit. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not sure exactly what teaching it was, but these kind of things are all over in India and Nepal and stuff. And they have writings going back 70,000 years. 70,000 years. In the West, we think that civilization started 10,000 years ago and that writing was only invented, 10, maybe 15,000 years. In India, it's a well-known fact that they have these writings that go back 30, 40, 50, and some people are 70,000 years. And so there's so much being hidden from. I mean, there's so much being hidden from us in the sense that we just are not aware of it. Our idea of reality is cultivated, especially in America. We are the most cultivated of all the cultures I've been to. Not cultured, but the most cultivated, meaning with the media and politics and advertisements and medicine and all this kind of stuff. And the police, there's no heavier, more heavily policed country that I've been to than America. It's the most heavily policed by far. So, all right. 12 rules for being human handed down from Sanskrit. So I'm just going to give my interpretation, okay? Number 1 says, you will receive a body. Now, what does this mean? You will receive a body is another way of saying that you are not the body, that you will receive a body. Now, what is receiving the body? That is for you to discover yourself. Nobody can tell you this. So that is what number 1 is saying. You will receive a body, which means that inherently, if you're receiving it, it's something that you have, but it's not what you are. Now, that's why it's number 1, because so many people are identified. They think that, and they believe, and they feel, their experience is that I am the body. So what happens to the body is happening to me, and they can't separate. They haven't separated in any way the fact that you have a body, much like you have a car, but you are not the car. You are not the body. It is very much in the same way you have one. And so that's why it's number 1. Number 2 is that you will learn lessons. Now, what does this mean? You will learn lessons is saying that you are in a nonstop state of experiencing. So a lesson is an experience. And you are not only are you not the body, but you are not your experiences. That is what number 2 is saying. You will learn lessons. You will have different experiences, but you are not the experience. Now, this is also, most people, once they transcend the thought that, well, I'm not the body, okay, I'm the soul, then they'll call it the soul. And even though that's a very loaded term now, but they'll call it the soul, and they'll say that, okay, well, I'm the soul, and I'm here to learn. That's why I'm here, is to learn different things. Okay, and that is another layer. That's another level. But at the same time, I've seen it and I've experienced it. I know this, that then the I will identify with the experiences. You'll identify with the lessons. You'll identify with, I'm a world traveler, Or I have had all of these profound experiences, and do you see how enlightened I am? Do you see how I'm just different than everybody else because of my experiences? Now, this is all still the ego mind. This is all still the mind that is bound to the sense of being an I, and the I is the ego. So that is number 2. Number 3 is that there are no mistakes, only lessons. Okay? So number 1 was you will receive a body. Number 2, you will learn lessons. Number 3, there are no mistakes, only lessons. Now this is another way of saying that everything is perfect. Everything is already perfect. There are no mistakes, only lessons. Meaning that everything is happening already exactly as it's meant to happen. So there is no mistakes, meaning that only in the mind of man are we going to dissect a situation, the isness of what is, and we are going to say, well, that is a mistake. That was not meant to happen, but it happened. So how is that? Everything that happens could not have happened any other way. That's another way of saying this. What happens, happens, and could not happen any other way. We are swimming in a sea of perfection. And that is difficult for a lot of people to comprehend, especially from the state of I, the sense of being an ego mind. Because so many things seem imperfect. And by perfect, I don't mean like ideal. I mean without error. Everything that happens is perfectly without error. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened that way. Number 4 is a lesson will be repeated until it is learned. A lesson will be repeated until it is learned. So this is another way of saying that your entire life, your actions, the actions of the unawakened person, the unawakened being, are controlled in a way like a computer program, that your desires, your likes, your reactions, your fancies and favorites, and all of this comes from the conditioned past. It is a set of conditioned responses that, until you become conscious, is ruling your life. We can call it the subconscious, but it is what happened to you as a kid. It is what happened to you at a foundational time in your life between 0 and 7. It is the way that your mother treated your father, and you observe this, and it imprinted upon you. All of this, that a lesson will be repeated until it is learned. So you will continue around and around and around and around until you awaken to the reality of the perfection of what is. That is what it's saying. Now remember, these are my interpretations of what I believe they are saying, what I believe they mean by this. This is ancient wisdom. So yes, don't forget to hit the like. Thank you, Kathy. America has the highest incarceration rate per capita than any other country. Absolutely, TC. Man, you're preaching to the choir. We are the most policed, heavily policed state, heavily controlled state, country in the world that I've ever been to. So, and I've been to places that America thinks is less free than us, but it's just very different. It's very different. And I get on the fighting side of a lot of Americans when I try and say that, that we're actually, in my experience, the least free, one of the least free countries, the most heavily policed, the most heavily medicated, the most tied to our job, tied to our payments, man. The payments is unbelievable. The debt slavery is out of this world. It doesn't exist like this in other countries. So Taida says, but we are free. Yes, we are free. And in case you forget it, every morning at school, we will say the Pledge of Allegiance, land of the free, home of the brave. And then every sporting event, we will say it again. And we'll say it again and again and again. Land of the free, land of the free, land of the free. Does that sound familiar? Repetition creates belief. So just keep on telling the people that they're the freest people in the world. Even though that's not the truth, they'll believe it eventually. So that is kind of what's happening, what has happened. But that's for another time. So let us continue. So We had 1, you will receive a body. 2, you will learn lessons. 3, there are no mistakes, only lessons. 4, a lesson will be repeated until it is learned. And number 5, learning lessons does not end. That is another way of saying that the only thing that is constant is that nothing is constant. The only thing that does not change is the reality that everything is constantly changing. It seems like an oxymoron, but it's not. It seems like a paradox, but we are in a nonstop flow, an energy, a sea of energetic potential. And the human mind is a decoding instrument. And so we are constantly receiving information, decoding it, and projecting the reality that we experience. So that goes right into 6. And so, yeah, the learning the lessons does not end. It does not end because that is the nature of reality, constant change. Everything is in a flow of energy. Everything comes and goes, comes and goes. And PA says in cycles. Yes, things are cyclical, definitely. But even the cycles are constantly changing. It's cycles upon layers of cycles and different energy flows. And it is nonstop. And you can observe this directly. Well, we'll wait until we get to number 10. So number 6 is that there is no better than here. So in my opinion and experience, what the ancients are saying when they say that there is no better than here, they are talking about the psychological concept of the future, the time in the future when everything's going to be right. So right now I'm not happy. Right now I'm frustrated. My life kind of sucks, but in the future I'm going to be happy. Yeah, yep. Once this and this happens, once world peace happens, once people start acting the way I want them to, once my mother quits trying to run my life, once my lover begins to conform to my wishes, once I find the ideal lover, then everything is going to be right. Yes, okay. And we become intoxicated with that kind of delusion, that kind of, we project it into the future and think that, okay, then is when it's going to be so good. Life's going to be so good then. All the while not realizing that then tomorrow never comes. You know the saying, you better learn it fast, you better learn it young, because someday never comes. Yes. And so that is what they're saying. There is no better than here. There's only one moment in your life, and that is now. And it's an eternal moment. We are already in eternity. And so the only relationship that matters is your relationship with now, because your entire life will unfold in now. Yeah, it's a total reversal of the way that the ego mind thinks. But when the ego mind is seen for what it is, it just dissolves and things become so clear. So there is no better than here. That's my interpretation of what they mean by that. Number 7, others are merely mirrors of you. What I believe they mean by this is that there is actually nothing outside of your awareness. They're in the deepest levels of reality. Now, this might sound weird to some people, but some of you understand what I'm saying. We'll catch the end later. Taida, taxi cannot be late. That's cool. You're like a Uber or something. Nice. And so the others are merely mirrors of yourself. Now, this is going to sound really strange to some people, maybe not to others, but this is what I know to be true, is that there is only your awareness. I don't mean you as an ego mind. I mean the ultimate you, the mind of God, we could say, the ultimate truth, we could say. This is all the same energy. It's the one. And so everything that appears to be happening separately from you, it appears that I'm a separate person from you, that you're a separate person, that we're all a bunch of separate people. But in the ultimate reality, we are all contained within the one. We are all the one. You can never get outside of the one, because how could you? It would still be within the one. Everything is absolutely non-dual. There is only the mind of God, the love of God, the experience. That's what it is. So others are just a mirror of you. Yes. And ultimately, that's what they mean. But on a more level, on a more human sort of experience level, they can also mean others are a mirror of you. When you think that life is unfair, when you think that life is a struggle and that people are rude and people are mean, when you truly believe that, that is what you experience. How many people that you know that think that people are just pricks and everyone's out for themselves and the whole world, this country's going to shit, the whole world's going to hell. How many people you know that think that? And that is what they experience then. They will experience people that are hostile. They will experience people that are unkind to them. They will experience this because this is the law of confirmation. So, really, what I believe they're saying when they say others are a mirror of you, this is what they're saying, the law of confirmation, that your internal experience will will be confirmed by the external experience on different levels and different layers like this. And so, likewise, how many people do you know that are healed within themselves and know life to be a dance, a beautiful dance of energy exchange and energy flow, and that people are good. There is only goodness in the world, and that people are just full of love. And how many people you know that have that, and that is what they experience. They believe that people are helpful and that people are kind, and that is what they experience. People are kind to them. People are helpful to them because others are a mirror of what you experience. This is very true. So that can be true on different levels. There's layers to it all. Okay, so let's see. Most people, but some are evil. Yes, yes, yes. Now, well, we'll talk. I'll talk on evil later. We could talk on evil in some other time because that requires its own thing. RK says perception is reality. Yes. Kathy says like a bunch of bubbles bouncing into each other. Yes, a flow, a nonstop flow. Matthias says thinking that you always think you needed to be somewhere else. You are missing the place you are now. Yes, definitely. That is number 6. There is no better than here, for sure. Creative Soil says, God is inside you. You are the Christ being. This is absolutely the ultimate truth. And this is a lot for a lot of people to digest, especially if their mind has been conditioned over years of the kind of mainstream religious sort of concept of God, that God is outside of you, that God is a being totally separate from you, and that while you may have a relationship with God, you can never actually be God. In like mainstream Christianity and stuff, you can have a relationship with God, but it's blasphemous to say that you are God, because we're thinking of the ego mind still. But that is it's very different in other religions and other experiences, and not even religions, just a spiritual experience. There doesn't need to be any religion to be one with God. So let's see here. There is number 8. What you make of your life is up to you. So yes, this is pretty much what we've been saying. What you make of your life is up to you. If you wish to sit at home all day and getting high, playing video games, drinking Mountain Dew, and eating Hot Pockets, then that's what your life is going to be like. Okay? And maybe you'll have some kids and they'll be eating Hot Pockets and Gushers as well. And they'll be living in the basement playing video games all day. And they won't want anything more of life. Okay? And so this is likewise, if you, what you make of your life is up to you. If you want to go out and see the world and experience things, do it. You can do it. Your life will become more magnificent than you ever could have imagined. And so you can go out and do it. And this doesn't have to be on an extreme level. If it's anything that you want to do, you can do it if you believe that you can do it. I know that's kind of cliche, but it's the absolute truth. And you will, when you experience this on small levels in your life, then you begin to realize that it's true on every level in life. Yes, Pam, the Christ is the nature of God. I and my Father are one. Absolutely. This is the ultimate reality. I and my Father are one. The ultimate one, the awareness, is I. But in order for that to happen, the little I, the sense of egoic being, that the me that has a life story and that has likes and dislikes and things can happen to it and stuff, that has to dissolve completely. And that's more than most people can give up. That's because you have to give up everything. And you have to give it all to God. Everything. I mean, everything. And so that's just more than most people are willing to, more than they can accept. They say, well, I'll give God some things. Like every Sunday we'll go to church and I'll give money, because that's easy to give. And I'll give, here and there, 10 seconds before a meal, we'll give some thanks to God and stuff like that. But there's no way that I could give him everything my whole life, but that's what it requires. But when you do this, it's more magnificent than anything could have ever prepared you for. It's okay. So we'll be moving on. So number 9, life is exactly what you think it is. So what I believe the ancients mean by this, life is exactly what you think it is, meaning that we live in an energetic sea of infinite potentiality. The human mind is the decoding mechanism, like I just said. And so what you think is what you will experience. This whole thing is a projection of your perceptions. Now, that is as deep as it gets. And so that is what they mean by that. Life is exactly what you think it is. If you think that life is the struggle, you will struggle. If you think that life is amazing and that goodness is dominant, then that is what you will experience. So Val says, yeah, I have a ways to go to let go. Yeah, yes. Okay. So, well, that's good to know that within yourself, But, and I mean this even, guys, I stayed at ashrams and did all kinds of things. And even people that are outwardly appear to be very spiritual, they have all the costume on and everything, the beads and all this, their hair is in a big bun and all. And I know because I was there and I mean, doing it. That was me and stuff. And I thought it's all spiritual and everything. And they were surrounded by other people that were, so spiritual and stuff. But they were not ultimately free. They were bound. They were still bound by a sense of I. They were still bound by the ego mind. It had just changed. The story had just changed. But they were still the main character of a story. The story was now, I'm a spiritual seeker, or I'm a spiritual person, and can't you see by my long beard and all of my stuff? But then there came a time when all of that just dissolved. And I saw that none of that is relevant at all to awakening, to true liberation. None of that is necessary. You don't have to dress up in the costume. You don't have to be at the ashram. Right now, the infinite love of God is available to you right now, this second. And so life is exactly what you think it is. Okay, we got 3 more. So RK says, serving God will make the cup overflow so that you can give others even more. Oh, absolutely, man. Overflowing to the nth degree. Yes. Number 10, your answers lie inside of you. Your answers lie inside of you. So this is the way to find it out. So all of the things that we've talked about in ultimate reality, all of this and that, you don't have to take someone's word for it. You don't have to believe in some text or some book. You can go within and you can experience it yourself. This is the most important thing, guys. You experience it yourself. And that is what the ancients mean when they say your answers lie inside of you. Every answer that you need lies inside of you because it is tapped in to the power of all that is, the infinite power of creation. And so when you tap into this, everything, the answers all become clear. Everything is there already because they've already happened, because everything is now. Number 11, you will forget all of this. And then number 12, you can remember it whenever you want. Number 11 and 12 is key. You will forget all of this. Number 12, you can remember it whenever you want. So I will let you interpret that yourself. You will forget all of this, but you can remember it anytime you want. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of the 12 rules for being human based upon the ancient Sanskrit text. I forget exactly what text it is, but I've heard these things many times in India. And so that is my interpretation based upon what I know to be true. And so if you guys are watching this after the fact or wish to comment, then go ahead and put it in the comments. You know, say number 4 and then give your thought on it. Number 12 and give your thought on it. Yes? So what do you guys think? Next week, do we settle on the morning routine, the importance of the morning routine? I think that that's what we should do because it's very important. So because there's all of this stuff that we just talked about. There's the ultimate nature of reality, and that's wonderful. But we also have to have, this is the streetwise spirituality, we're calling it, so that we understand the ultimate nature of reality. We understand that we're in an energetic flow of infinite potentiality and that like a cosmic Wi-Fi, and we are the computer program that is decoding the Wi-Fi, very much like this, in a cosmic, much more amazing, beautiful sense. That we are creating our life. Whether we are conscious of this or not is the question. You are already creating the experience of your life, but whether or not you are consciously creating it is the real key. So most people have too hard of a time to go to saying, no, I'm not consciously creating my life, because then they have to take responsibility for their kind of dismal life, their life that they feel is kind of shitty and that's very unfulfilling. They can't possibly, no, they're the victim of this and this, and they'll give you all these reasons why they can't be happy and all these reasons why they don't have any money, all these reasons why they, yada, yada. So that's too much for a lot of people to swallow, to say, wait a second, you mean that I've been creating this somehow by my choices and what I choose to focus on and what I choose to consistently practice? Do you mean if I consistently practice poverty thinking that I will remain in poverty? If I practice scarcity mindset, that I will experience scarcity? That's too much for people to digest a lot. But once you can accept this and say, okay, well, that's how it's been up till now. So how do we change it? How do we change it? The practices, that's how you change it. So, okay, all right, I'm liking this. Guys say, Ursula says, yes, I'd like to see into the morning routine. Look to Nature Homestead says, yes, I need that morning foundational structure. Yes. Blue Wolf says, beautifully done, Nate. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad that you're vibing with that because I feel really good and passionate about, obviously, it's just flowing through. And so it's a wonderful, this is my favorite kind of talk, really. Like what we do here is really my favorite. And so yeah, even more than the gardening stuff, I'm way more passionate about this kind of stuff. Brian says, near-death experience has given my life back. Life is good and I'm filling my basket with the good now. Yes, my friend, no need to ever look back. No need to ever look back. Now you become the conscious creator of your life. And this is another way of saying you're raising the vibration. You're raising your vibrational frequency. And we know this. We know what this means, the vibrational frequency. And you can feel it, the aura of a person and the aura of a place. Yes? So when we are raising it, all the things that no longer suit us, they tend to just drift away because they're at different frequencies. And so they just kind of vibrate out of your experience. And that's perfectly fine. Do not lament the things that have vibrated out of your experience because they no longer serve you. And don't tie yourself down to the same things. And so we can just keep vibrating higher and higher and higher, because there's no end to how high it can get. And that is where, okay, number 5, yeah, learning lessons does not end. And that's another way of saying that the mind is the infinite frontier. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper. The peace of God keeps getting deeper and deeper. There's no end to it. This is what it means. Kathy says, I have lost a lot of time lamenting. Yes, my friend, but no more. No more. No need for it because it no longer serves you. So you drop it in the same way that you would take off a shirt and drop it on the floor. You just drop it. You just let go of it. It's that easy. So Lisa T says, morning routine topic would really help my focus. I really feel that truth. Definitely. Okay, yeah. Because guys, when we it's the morning. You got to prime everything so that you have to tell the organism how to interpret its day. And so in order to do that, you have to do the practices to set it up. Now I understand not everyone is going to have this kind of time like I have purposely structured my life so that I have ample amount of time to do this in the morning, because it's my number one priority. I mean, my health, mental, physical, spiritual health is my number one priority, and so that is, so I have to do things that are conducive to that. And so that is what the morning routine comes in. So we'll talk about it next week, and then probably I'll make a video showing, like a 10-minute video, like a edited video showing the morning routine. Yeah. That's right. Look to Nature says, it starts the trajectory of the rest of the day. Definitely. Spiritually, emotionally, also physically. It's very important to get in the first hour of waking up. It's very important to get that physical blood flowing. Yes, that's when we do the breathing exercises. Boom. And we combine the breathing with the meditation. And I will kind of explain all of that. And that just sets the tone. It's so wonderful. 8A says, I need help with scarcity mindset. Okay, that's what we'll do a video on. Scarcity mindset. That's super important because, man, I used to live there. I was living in that mindset for a long time. And you will experience scarcity. So, scarcity. Yes. And Mappa Grub says, I agree, Lisa T, giving me a lot to ponder. Yes, that's what it's about. Ms. T, consistently, always the key. I keep what is useful and release and let go what no longer serves me. That is that's a mantra right there, basically. I keep what is useful and release and let go what no longer serves me. Yes. The saying attributed to Bruce Lee in his system as well is that absorb what is useful, disregard the rest, and implant your particular flavor, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But okay, my friends, so let us end with 3 rounds of the ultimate mantra that is going to help us to understand the reality of what is already happening. That infinite spirit is going before you and opening the way. Envision this, something opening the way, saying, hey, it's this way, clearing out the way. Hey, this way, come on, come over here. Boom. And yet so many times we're trying to resist and trying to strong arm life and strong arm our decisions, and it's exhausting. So instead, we just have to realize what the ultimate truth is already happening, is already telling us. We're just not listening. That infinite spirit is going before me and opening the way. And when we come up with things, what do I say? I'll never know the right thing to say, or, oh, did I say the right thing? That's the mind. That's the ego mind that goes in this type of confusion. When we come to the understanding that infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say, then we no longer question it because we're being guided. Now, at first, this might feel a bit silly. It might feel like, okay, well, infinite spirit goes before me. But if you just do the practice, and you will see the subconscious mind begins to grab hold of it, and you will see not that something is, but you will just see that this is already the nature of reality. Infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Okay, my friends.